Hi there, listeners. My name's Leah, and this is For Weebs, That Anime Podcast, where we talk about anime and, whatever the fuck else we want. But, yeah, so again, my name's Leah.
Boom, F-bomb
I
right
like
away.
anime right off the bat. That was Liam. Liam, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Liam. This is the intro where I just make breathing noises and talk about breathing noises. Okay, next.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I will neither whip nor nay-nay, but I'll make mouth noises real good.
Oh my god.
I didn't think you could one-up me like that.
Well,
Veda?
Hi, I'm Veda. I'm also part of this podcast. I don't have anything fun to say.
I think this is the episode where we're all lacking sleep.
I've had too much, it's horrible!
It's not that I'm lacking sleep, I just had, just a weird night, and then that weird phone conversation, and then now we're recording a podcast.
Well, we're gonna leave it at that ominousness right there.
I need to know about this podcast.
All you need to know is that everything's cool now, and that I'm just disrupting the whole thing, and being bad.
I'm glad to hear
Thanks,
that.
Liam.
Now.
Alright,
We cool.
So, for anyone who hasn't listened before, or forgot,
Poor fuckers.
the whole premise of our podcast is that there's a good anime and a bad anime each week. And in order to decide who watches that anime, we do a marble poll, and whoever gets the red marble gets to pick who's watching the good anime, and then who's going to watch the bad anime with them. So yeah, red marble, kind of a good and a bad thing, because you get to pick the anime for the next week, but you're also watching the shitty anime, so I mean, that sucks. Yeah. So this week, I was picking the anime, and I picked Trinity. It was a vampire theme because it was end of October, Halloween. Woo, fun. So the good anime was Trinity Blood, which Becca has graciously has a synopsis for that she will read to us right now.
Yeah, so for the listener, apparently I owned this, and I apparently watched it at some point, way back in the day. So Trinity Blood is, from the legends of ancient times, they have been called forth into the world anew, vampires.
Woo!
Two races, locked in a struggle for existence, tremble on the brink of war. Some seek the path to a peaceful coexistence, while others pursue a dangerous shift in the balance of power. Typical. Oh my god, who's ruffling?
Yeah, who's shuffling?
Sorry, that may have been me.
You're ruining my excellent reading.
Worst host ever.
Oh,
I know.
God.
I apologize. I am still as a statue. Now.
Okay, well my cat's crying in the background, so it's all good.
Gold stars for everyone.
This episode's
today.
rough.
You know what? Sorry, listeners, but we're doing great today. Abel Nightroad, a touring priest for the Vatican, walks calmly where others fear to tread. A member of the formidable Axe? Okay, no, seriously, the font on this is horrible. That's all you need to know, okay? That's it. Abel
There's
Nightroad.
vampires.
There's vampires and the Vatican, and everybody's wearing pretty sweet outfits.
Ooh.
And
Capes?
yeah,
That's a good review for this show.
yeah, swishy capes and those long coats that whoosh. Oh my god!
Those long coats that whoosh.
Well, we lost Leah. Oh, she's back. Skype.
Uh-oh.
You know what, listeners?
It's still doing the dots.
We're sorry.
It's episode 6. We don't have to try anymore.
Yeah,
If they've gotten this far,
we're pretty much
we've
perfect.
got them hooked.
Yeah. You poor suckers. We're like your heroin, aren't we?
No.
Or cocaine.
Just no.
Okay, well, I guess
Alright.
we can just pause briefly while we get Leah back.
Yeah, we'll be back momentarily. Bye!
Bye.
Click. Oh my god, I'm not even
Thank you for
kidding.
clicking.
The font on this stupid thing is so bad. It's all
That sucks.
swoopy and ugly.
They used a decorative font for their words.
They did, and it's
Oh,
like...
shit.
And it's like, oh, I can
Well, it
read
was
most of that.
2005 and it's anime.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
You know what? We're just gonna... Oh my gosh, where did she go
Oh,
again?
she's gone!
On another note, while we're not recording, I broke my mushroom.
Your mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Your phallic mushroom?
Yeah, my squishy mushroom. The bottom came
mushroom?
off.
Oh,
So now
okay.
I know. Now I know it's on the inside.
What's it filled with?
It's filled with
you have a stress mushroom too?
Yeah, I had to buy one after I saw how awesome they were.
These up as-
It's like sand, but it feels like it also has a chemical of some sort on it, probably arsenic or something horrible.
Cyanide.
Don't
yeah,
eat it.
something that'll kill me when I eat it. To keep it kind of mushy. I thought it was just filled with corn powder,
Oh, yeah.
but no, it's filled with something much more interesting. Okay, I'm gonna
Chemical
let my
sand.
cat back in for a moment while we wait for
Guess I'll
Leah
stop
to
my
come back.
recording.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Did you
Like
try
Darkwing
adding Leah?
Well, she popped back up for a minute and then it dropped again.
It dropped. Did it?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Headphones.
Leah posted and said to call her back.
Okay. What
Call
the fuck do you want? Get in or
Meow.
go away. There.
Meow.
You're trapped now. I hope you're happy.
Meow.
Meow. Alright.
My cat's just sleeping.
My cat's a gigantic a-hole.
Sleep, sleep, sleep.
Adding Leah. Add to call. Technology. My cat's getting in the way
Aw.
of everything.
Hello?
Oh my god, you ruined everything!
What happened?
I don't know. It just all of a sudden my whole computer just went black and was just nope, I'm done.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
That's a little
And
scary.
not sleep. It's not like it went to sleep because when you have Skype open, your computer doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
And it didn't shut it or anything. I don't know what
Did
happened.
the battery die?
No, it's plugged in.
What?
So I don't know. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this laptop just rolls over and dies here shortly.
Oh, poor little laptop.
But I'm not gonna lie. Do we want to just start over?
No, I think it'll be funny. You
Yeah.
didn't.
We just said we'd
Well,
pause and come back.
We'll just make
Oh,
Becca
yeah,
edit
just
it out.
Leah dropped the ball.
We
Yeah.
added some
Yeah,
funny lines.
pretty much.
Oh, great.
Don't worry. We ad-libbed a bit about how you got taken away by your pimp or something. I don't fucking know. My cat's annoying me.
Okay, well,
I think.
all right.
Well, maybe we don't have to bother for it
When-
tonight, but maybe next time if you have an iPad or an iPhone or something, you
I
could
don't.
Skype on that.
I am an Android user. Aside
Or
from this laptop.
you can get
You can
Skype on
Skype on
Android
Android.
devices.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well. Okay.
For next time.
Do
Then it's like calling on
Nice
your
try.
phone. Yeah.
Okay.
Or just get a new computer, right?
I'm too broke.
Excuses, excuses. Do it for the podcast.
Do you have a different computer?
Nope.
Oh.
That's it. This
We'll
is
make
it.
it
Well,
work.
you suck, Leah.
That's the nice thing about
I'm sorry.
That's the nice thing about having a bit of a head start on the episodes is if things go to hell, then whatever. We got some
have
room.
A bit of a break.
Yeah.
Well,
We still need to
while
get
we're
those-
while we're paused, I was just gonna say, are we gonna release these soon?
Every
once in a while, Jason
Yes. Veda asked me last night where I was on the whole editing thing, and where I'm at is I've been a lazy sewing Becca rather than a lazy podcast editing Becca. So I'll start being less lazy and start getting my shit in gear, because
Okay.
I'm such a dick.
Well,
But-
just let us know how that goes, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna
All right.
again.
Hold on, what was I, when did I cut off?
We just finished the description of Rosario, or of Trinity Blood, so just give a quick description of Rosario, and then we'll go into the description of, or the
Well, don't we
review of
usually-
Trinity Blood.
Don't we usually wait
Oh, no, we
until...
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
do
just,
Trinity
like,
Blood, and then they'll do...
Mention what, the bad enemy is, I guess.
No, we'll do it
What was
later.
that awkward little derping sound?
That's my bong.
Is it really?
Oh,
No.
that was me.
Okay.
I'm painting at the same time.
Oh my
Confession.
god. Dedication.
That was me putting a brush in a pot of water.
Oh,
I
okay.
think we could just do, and Leah's back!
Yeah.
Yeah, get to
Okay.
work.
Okay.
What'd you think of Trinity Blood?
Oh wait, that was it. Okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
back. So
yeah,
I'm back.
do
Oh,
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry everyone.
Thanks,
I
guys.
dropped the ball. But thanks for waiting if you're still around. But,
We love you.
In podcast land, you were only gone for like a fifth of a second.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Alright, so, I don't know, I guess Trinity Blood, I picked it as a good anime, because, I've heard it before, and I always thought it was considered a little more of, like, a classic in the last, 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I'll pick it. I've always kind of wanted to watch it, whatever. And it looked like it'd be more, badass than anything. But, I don't know. Based off, the first 3 episodes, it's just... I feel like in the first 2 episodes, they don't even really go anywhere.
No.
I feel like they're trying to establish the main character while totally screwing up the whole point of the storyline. Because, the whole first 2 episodes don't have anything to do with anything, and then you get to the 3rd, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, now I see where the plot's going.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't meet that nun chick until the 3rd episode, and that's where the whole, premise of the anime starts to begin.
Character.
Which, I can understand if you take the first episode or 2 to, develop your characters and get it established, but, if you're not even going to do it that well, or your character doesn't need that much establishing, it's just get into it.
Oh, I'm gonna get into it, don't you worry.
Alright, well, you get into it, Becca.
Okay,
What's your initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts? Why the fuck would you watch this when you can go watch something like Hellsing, or Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist? Wow, I got it under control. Or anything else besides this. It also made me think of video games. It has not aged well. I think I bought the DVD roughly in 2006 or 2007, and I know I watched it when I first bought it, and I have not picked it up since, and now I know why. It's very boring. At least the first 3 episodes are. Go watch something better, like Hellsing, Hellsing Ultimate, Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or even Trigun, or Cowboy Bebop. I don't know, there's so many better options than this particular anime, unless it gets better later, but I'm not here to tell you that, so...
And
So when you
I
bought
feel
it...
like it could get better, if it actually started getting into it, and it started actually getting its, main plot straight. I found, even by the 3rd episode, I was a little confused, okay, so you have it established that, so there's vampires, and then there's Terras, which are, humans.
Which I'm just fucking call them humans!
Yeah, I get that. That's fine. Oh, yeah, but they're, space vampires, aren't they?
Yeah.
Another world.
That was the other vibe I got.
Yeah.
There's 5 different types of people in this world. There's the Terrans/humans, the vampires, the whatever this Abel Night Road is. Spoilers, he's something else. I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of this, so...
No, it's fine. The whole, half the premise of the show is, so he's a vampire who feeds off other vampires.
Yes.
And he's on this... Well, he claims to be neutral, but he's on the side of the humans.
And the Vatican.
And the Vatican.
Priest, yeah. And then there's also people that are actually robots.
Yeah.
Which you find out in the 2nd episode, which is really confusing. And then there's also people that are also witches, which are apparently supposed to be, slowly working their way out of the whole population, but one of the first people, the person that the whole 2nd episode revolves around is a witch.
This obnoxious little girl.
Yes.
I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Ours had one of those too.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but when I watch anime and they throw in the, cliche little girl who's, a whiny little shit, but the main character always loves, it actually drives me insane. Well, I can't handle those little girls. The little sister. Kawaii, man, they drive me nuts.
So here's that gets the basis of my entire issue with Trinity Blood, is that the entire thing is trope after trope after trope after trope. Not at any point does anything feel particularly new to me, and that's why I'm so bored. And I was so excited to watch this because, to put it on the table, I'm a very big fan of vampires in general, but I don't know why the Japanese tend to take vampires and then mush them with the church for some reason. And not just a church in general, but the Catholic Church. Hellsing, another vampire show, anime, he also is working with a church-like organization, except in that one he's working against the church. So I'm I don't know if this is a cultural thing where, to them, vampires are continuously linked up with some sort of religious aspect, but like I said, there's nothing new to this. Like,
well, and I think the problem was like there was nothing new, but then at the same time, like I feel like the tropes you mentioned were also so dulled down. It's like you couldn't even enjoy them for what they were.
Yes.
It was almost just like too subtle.
Yes.
Like the only thing I kind of found refreshing, but at the same time boring, was for Abel Night Road, like his personality. For a main character, it was actually kind of different because he almost has more of a main character of like a sidekick. Or like someone who's, you know, not the main character, which is like refreshing in a way, but at the same time I'm like, well, I don't really know what to do here.
See, I find he reminds me a lot of Vash the Stampede, and I guess this comes back to a trope that I've noticed in anime where it's you have the main character, and the main character, when the audience meets them, is a kind-hearted, friendly, good-humored, cool person, maybe a little bit clumsy or a little bit dorky, but you like him.
But then it's a badass.
But then they turn into a fucking badass. So one minute they're tripping over their feet or being stupid, and then the next minute they whip out whatever weapon they have and they're awesome with it, and you're like, oh, that person's badass. But
I don't know. I didn't find Abel, like, necessarily clumsy, though, which is what I think I found refreshing, because I found him more just that nice guy.
Yeah.
Who's a bit of a badass. I didn't find it quite as drastic as some characters I've seen in the past.
But I definitely still got the feel that they're trying to, like, diminish him in a certain way and make him seem like a smaller character than what he is. And when he turns badass, I'm like, that's the guy I want to watch. Yeah, I just want to watch that dude the whole time.
Yeah, and that's what I honestly expected it to be. Because even when you, like, if you ever, like, look at the front cover or, like, a picture of Trinity Blood, they always show you, like, the badass Abel Night Road, and I was expecting it to be like that the whole time.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be, like, really dark and, like, you know, like, awesome.
and that's the one thing that, like, I found at times, overall, I like the way the anime looks, but it felt at times that the animation was kind of cheap, or like they drop in the CGI, and the CGI is well done, but it still stands out very clearly from the other animation. And I'm willing to give it a pass because it is 10 years old.
I actually didn't really realize, when was the CGI? Like tanks that drive by, or like
what? A lot of the vehicles, like there's a lot of airships, and it's kind of done in a steampunk, brass and pipes and steam
I
style,
thought those were
and
done really well.
Style. Yeah, no, for the age, they're done really, really well. But I'm still sitting there and I'm like, that's CGI, that's regular animation, that's CGI. And like I said, because it's older, I don't want to hold that against it too much, because it does look really good for its age.
I don't
know. But I found it stood out. It's not as bad as, like, Sailor Moon Crystal. Me, really.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even think twice about it. But it's interesting that you did, so, you know.
Well, and it might be that, like, the minute this pissed me off in the first episode, I'm trying really hard to not dislike it so much, but, by the end of the first episode, I was just like, I'm so bored and I'm so angry. Then it starts to be every little thing starts popping out to me. And, like I said, I don't want to say the CGI is bad. I think the anime looks good overall, but at times it feels a little cheap to me. Like, the little, I'm not sure if the version you watched had, like, the intro, outro during, like, the commercial break.
Yes, those did bother me, though.
Yeah.
But that was also, a big shining sign being like, hey, I'm, like, 10 years old.
Yeah. And it reminded me a lot of, like, Soul Calibur, like, 11.
It reminded me of, like, Escaflowne.
Yeah. And that's just where I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, yes, this is from the early 2000s. That's right, too. Also, some of the music reminded me of softcore porn. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, dear.
Oh my gosh, you're actually so right. I didn't think of that, but now that you said it, oh my gosh, you're so right.
Yeah, some of it's
so right.
Some of it's all right. I found the music really. As I was watching the third episode, I'm like, there's something about the music. How would I describe this? It's very manipulative. When it's supposed to be a scene that's like everybody's happy to see one another, it's very, very uplifting and like over exaggerated. And when it's supposed to be a fight, it's super like metally, like video gamey, like fight music. And then when there's shots of just like things happening, it sounds like softcore porn. And I was like, neat.
Not scenes where there's something sexy happening, just scenes where there's something happening.
There's no sexy things happening in this at all.
No, like absolutely nothing happening.
Not even, everybody's so covered up in their Victorian wear, you don't even get to see skin. Like,
I don't know. It's hard because I feel like if they hadn't, like, wasted the first 2 episodes so much, I'd probably still be interested to keep going. Like, if the third episode was the first episode,
yes,
I would have been, like, way more intrigued. I would have been like, okay, like, I'll keep going. But now I'm just kind of like, exactly like you said, Becca. I'm like, I could be watching something else that's, like, I know is going to be, like, great.
Yeah.
Like, well, off the bat.
Well, and like I said, like, when Abel becomes his, like, fancy alternative self, I would really love to watch what that guy's doing. I completely agree. That was my thoughts. Because the third episode is part 1 of a part 2 storyline as well. So if that had been even the second episode, like, you set him up in the first episode and that he's going to the Vatican in the first episode, and then the second episode is him meeting whatever the girl's name is.
Esther,
yes. Then it would have been alright. But,
yeah, it was that second episode. It just, like, put a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, yeah, I'm done.
And I can only assume that little girl comes into play later on.
Yes.
But,
I'm sure she does.
But at the same time, it's like, you could have introduced her in the 4th episode, and it would have probably made just as much sense. Like, so, yeah, I don't think overall the storylines and the tropes have aged well. It feels too much to me like they put in a bunch of stuff that was from a lot of other successful animes around the same time, and figured that this would do well. Like, it very much feels like, there's fancy costumes, and everybody has cutesy eyes, and, there's the good guy badass, and I really like that the first vampire we're introduced to is so stupid that he tells everybody his plan of attack in the first 5 minutes of being there.
That
he
is
makes,
very true.
Like, all the classic mistakes, and I'm like, really? Like, can we not do this anymore?
They had to make it accessible for the kiddies.
But it's not for kids.
No, it's not for kids.
Like, it's totally for kids.
Yeah, I like. Yes, Veda, please feed this to your 5-year-old friends or cousins or whatever. I don't know where I was going with that. They'll love it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Liam, you're so hard to hear.
Yeah,
you're very quiet.
Yeah, my roommate's phone went off, so I turned my volume down in case you guys heard it. But he politely went to the other room. Do I sound better now?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
My regular volume now?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Wait, Becca.
Yes.
How about you?
Like I said before, this episode is just fucking solid.
I know. It's great.
You know what? We're allowed to have a couple off days.
I'm proud of it.
It's very
Me
solid.
too.
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
About your anime. So, they're vampires, but they're working with the church?
Against the church.
They're working against the church.
Yeah, so there's, like, humans and the church and, like, the Vatican, and then there's vampires, and then you have what Abel Knight Road is, and I'm forgetting the name.
It's a fancy name of some kind.
It starts with an F or something, I don't know.
I'll see if I can Google it quickly.
Yeah, so what he is he's a vampire who feeds off other vampires, and has chosen to work with the church.
Okay.
So he's almost like the neutral party, only not that neutral, because he's with the church.
Right.
So, yeah.
I don't pick a side, but I've already picked a side.
I picked the side of the godly people.
And I feel like that's kind of where, and I'm sure it'll get expanded upon, but again, that, like, fallout in the first 2 episodes, it's like, they start trying to, like, explain the dynamic of the world to you, and then they kind of just stop. Like, they kind of just don't, and you're kind of left with some, like, holes, being like, wait a second, like, what's actually happening here?
I'll insert,
like,
I need these holes to be filled.
A Krusnik, yeah.
Yeah. And whenever he transforms into his Krusnik self, he says Krusnik 02 or something. He says some sort of, like, code deal that, like, transforms him, and it's not nearly as cool as, like, Magical Girls, where they get, like, a fancy transitioning sequence or anything. Carry on, Leah, sorry.
There's actually, like, there's a lot of similarities between this anime and what me and Veda watched. It's gonna be fun to talk about.
Well, that's good. Well,
Veda
and Becca and I can just wrap this up then, and we'll move on to that, I guess. But, yeah, pretty much what I've been saying is, yeah, I feel like they just didn't do a very good job establishing it, and it's too, like, I don't know, yeah, it's kind of boring, and I feel like, again, the tropes they put in, like Becca said, just, like, it's like they needed to pick. They either need to make it more drastic or just, not have them at all. But
yeah.
I do understand it's an older anime, like, now that I'm watching it. And I feel, again, if the third episode was, like, the first or second episode, I'd probably keep going. But at this point, I'm kind of like, couldn't be bothered. So, kind of funny since it was supposed to be the good anime. But, you know what? Maybe for people who had watched the whole thing and it was, I was watching it all those years ago, maybe I would have loved it. I don't know. But I probably won't find out because I don't think I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. For me, this didn't really sate my hunger for vampires. That being said, maybe it will be different later on in the show. I don't even know how long this show is. But I think if you want to watch cool, awesome vampires in an anime setting, go to Hellsing, or even better, Hellsing Ultimate. They're much better. They have kind of the same feel in that there's a religious aspect, and there's vampires, and there's blood being shot everywhere, but Hellsing, and specifically Hellsing Ultimate, are way more badass. They get into the action way more quicker, and I feel like if you have to make a choice, why not choose the better anime?
A bit of a side note, but I've actually heard some people who didn't like Hellsing very much.
See, they're silly.
Well, I heard that it can have a lot of, like, plot holes, or, like, the one chick is really obnoxious, or, like...
Yeah, a little bit. There is a comparison that could be made, I guess, between Saris and the girl in the first episode of Trinity Blood, Jessica, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In that they're very much like, oh, I can't do anything right, why should I even try? Which, once again, is another trope. She's way cooler in Hellsing Ultimate. Hellsing Ultimate basically takes all of the drama / philosophical tension out of Hellsing and just goes for, like, the badass, like, metal vampire killing stuff. That's why I suggest Hellsing Ultimate is the better option.
You said Hellsing Ultimate
is more metal. Yeah, it's way
like it's a Hellsing promo episode.
Well, it is. Go watch it. Basically they did Hellsing originally, and then they redid it as Hellsing Ultimate, where it's done in a different style. The animation is slightly different, still the same story, but they've cut out, like, I think the third episode of Hellsing is just Saris being all like, I don't want to drink blood because now I'm a vampire. Spoilers. And they kind of just skip over that in Hellsing Ultimate, which is good because I'm sick and tired.
Because you couldn't care less.
Yeah, I'm tired of watching vampires that are all, like, whiny that they're vampires. I mean, humans don't often think about eating cows. I mean, some do, granted, but most of us don't. So why would a vampire worry about eating humans?
What I would have liked to have given you, but I had already seen it, was Vampire Night, because you would have loved it, because it's full of, like, juicy romance / almost incestual kind of vampire stuff. But it's funny because
they're so whiny.
I know, I was like, because some people consider that the bad anime, and some people would also love it. I haven't seen it in years.
I don't like whiny vampires, except Lestat. He's cool.
I didn't find it that whiny when I remember watching it, but that's not the point. It's not what we watched. So
yeah.
Let's move
on.
on.
What do you have against Angel, Becca?
Yes, we're not going to get into it, okay?
Yes, we are.
You know what? Team Spike all the way until he
gets anime, right?
Stupid chip in his head.
Hey, people!
Buffy is definitely an anime.
I have not finished Buffy, so
you need to watch it.
Well,
we're not even talking about
Everybody
Buffy.
watch Buffy right now.
Get on Team Spike, Leah. Get on it.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Team Angel.
Angel's the worst.
Okay, guys, reel it in. Reel it in.
No.
I know Joss Whedon. It makes everything.
So Leah, what was the bad anime this week?
Okay, so the bad anime, which some people might be like, what? This is awesome! Because again, it was another one of those animes that was considered, a lot of people love it and a lot of people hate it, which was Rosario+Vampire. So, I have a synopsis here. And it says, Tsukune's terrible grades stick him in the only school that will take him.
Nice.
To his mortification, all his classmates are monsters, and if they figure out his human status, he's fresh meat. But when his scent attracts the hungry lips of a gorgeous vampire named Mocha, it turns out he's a sucker for supernatural chicks. Beastly bullies beware, because when Tsukune unlocks Mocha's super monster seal, a ravaging beauty with a drop kick from hell is revealed.
That's a pretty good summary.
That's a decent summary, yeah.
So Veda, do you want to start?
Sure.
Or, well, I'll just say I have some notes written for this one. Just
cool.
Why not? My first note is, holy shit, So many panty and booby shots.
Oh my
God
the
damn
panty
it.
shot.
I'm
It's
sorry.
like, well, so
No.
like 8 seconds into watching the show, and there's
The girl on
a
the
shot of
bike.
like a schoolgirl riding a bike, and then just panties.
But she's not even a character in the show. She's just a random chick.
Oh, God.
It's
I
just,
definitely
Whoever was
realized-
whoever was like directing is like, quick, we need panties like literally as soon as possible.
Panties stat.
They're
I
gonna
didn't
get off
realize
to
it
those
was this kind of
panties.
anime, but
Oh,
now
yeah,
I'm kind
it's-
of glad that it was.
It is a supernatural, ecchi harem romance vampire show.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Sounds like you guys had a better time than we did. Let's keep going.
I think we did.
At least
Yeah,
there was
probably.
boobs.
So my initial thoughts. This show is also pretty tropey. I found
Oh,
anyway.
God, so tropey.
Yeah, even with my limited knowledge of harem animes, it was like, take every trope from a harem and throw it into this show. It's probably there. I also hated the main character right away because he's a whiny asshole, and he's such a pushover, and he's
He has
just everyone.
bad grades.
Oh, it's so typical, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm so whiny and I have bad grades and blah blah blah, and all the girls fucking love him because
He's
it's
hot,
a harem
right?
anime. No, he's not. He's so boring.
He's just plain. Did
boring.
you watch the sub or the dub?
I watched the sub. I usually end up
Okay,
watching.
I
the
watched
sub.
the dub. And
Oh, cool.
the main character,
Ooh,
the
gold stars for Liam. Way to power
the voice
through.
actor for the main character was I recognized him from a few other things, so that was annoying.
Who was it?
Because I'm like, why is he this annoying character?
Was it Vic Minogna?
Oh god.
I don't know. I don't know the names that well. He was in the Future Diaries dub.
Oh god, I haven't seen Future Diaries.
Oh, I
yet.
didn't watch the dub either.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Sorry, bro.
whatever. It's not important.
But now I'm
The
curious.
character's an annoying piece of shit. It's lots
He's
of
so
tropes with
stupid.
boobs. One thing, there's a few moments where I just like couldn't believe it was actually happening, and I had to pause and just like walk around for a
Like
bit.
what?
Can't believe
Like
what was
when-
happening.
Which, yeah,
the
tell us.
first time he he accidentally rips the protective necklace off the
No.
girl vampire, and then she like goes through a big transformation, and there's this shot of like her butt with the skirt, and then it like goes transparent, and her butt like expands,
It like
And
goes
then,
boo. Did you
her
notice
boobs
though?
expand.
Sorry.
and then she unlocks like her full vampire mode.
Can we just take
And then
one?
the guy that the monster they're fighting, he's like, oh no, it's true, she's like an S-class super monster.
I know.
That's when
And
I was
she's-
like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
It
Can I-
was so bad. And then, like, everybody was like, she's so different. It's just like her boobs and her butt got bigger, and she has silver hair now.
She turns into an adult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Her
basically.
voice is different.
So this is now acceptable for all of the perverts out there to ogle.
Yeah, now
I just
she's
wanna-
a super vampire.
I just want to rewind for a moment. Is she Inuyasha?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
No.
Protective
I was
necklaces.
just gonna say, did you notice the sound that it makes when her butt, like, expands?
Oh my
and her
gosh.
Yeah.
No, seriously,
Kinda.
it's like, it's the freaking Ghostbusters gun noise. Like, you know when they power up their guns and it goes, it's that noise.
Oh my god.
Oh my
It's so
god,
fucking
yes.
weird.
So she's an
I wish I
Inuyasha
watched
Ghostbuster.
this.
She's an
It's so
Inuyasha
bizarre.
vampire
Oh my God.
Ghostbuster. Nice.
Yes. Yeah, and then, oh my god, it's just, this show was so weird. And then, like,
The first episode's about like her meeting the main character guy, but let's get into the second episode. So the second episode introduces a new character. I don't remember her name, but her boobs are bigger, and she's a succubus character.
she has blue
so.
hair. They're basically, each episode thus far introduces a new girl that's going to eventually be part of the harem. So that's like, they all get their token episodes, so they're like, here's this chick. Oh, she's got big tits. That's her
We all know
thing.
you'll
and the
probably
next-
end up with the chick from the first episode.
Exactly.
It's always the chick in the first episode.
Do they all have great personalities?
No.
Do they all say "sit hi" all the time?
No, they They don't, because they're all in
They're
the
not
same
related, Becca.
Well, they can pretend to be. Doesn't everybody else in anime these days?
Yes. But then there's like the whole weird thing I found. Everybody in the school is a monster, but they're all dressed up as humans. for some reason.
Is it like
Well, that's
Monster
because
High?
the school is to help them integrate with humans. So elves
Yeah.
want us to, they can't reveal their true monster identity to people, even though everybody fucking does anyways.
Yeah, exactly. They make that a rule and then they break it 3 seconds later.
Teenage rebels.
Yeah.
It's
But then they're all monsters, so but then the chick walks in and everybody's like, "Oh my god, she's so hot," but she's a human, and I'm like, "But they all hate humans, so why do they find her attractive?"
Yeah, there's a lot of shots of like just schoolboys just ogling and talking about like the girl characters, like, "Oh my god, her tits are so huge."
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure. I think it's pretty inappropriate anime, so I guess it's like for an adult audience, but like the story and everything makes it seem like it's for a youth audience.
That's true. It's kind of conflicted that way. It's like rated R or something. So, it's clearly for older people.
Well,
but it has such like a juvenile setting.
When I was about 15 or 16, I started reading Love Hina, and there's some pretty inappropriate stuff in that, thinking back, like a lot of like really skimpy bikinis and stuff. And I didn't really, well, granted I'm probably not the best like sample base to ask, but I didn't really have an issue with it.
I feel like by the time you hit 14,
I wouldn't have had it.
You're like looking at all the like rated R stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, another thing that'd be interesting to see those, like we see these ratings off our websites, like our Canadian American websites, and that's what we rate it, right? Like who knows what it actually is in Japan? Like
they're a bit more lenient sometimes. And
well, it's funny. I feel like they're
other
probably
times,
more.
It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No. What was I gonna say? Actually, I was comparing this to High School DxD because that was the other ecchi harem that I watched because of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. And I found like this anime didn't have as much of like an ecchi tone to it, like the boob shots and everything. Everybody was clothed. Like 100% of the time. I mean, like occasionally their boobs would like break out of the clothes a little bit, but
getting less interested.
There was one panty shot.
Yeah, there was like
I
a couple
mean, panty
shots.
as in like panties being pulled down.
Oh god.
Yeah, there was that
Because of
one,
a
and then there
voodoo
was
doll.
a breeze. Yeah,
Becca's just like,
but
God
like they
damn
don't
it! The
show
one time I
anything.
get the good anime.
Good anime that's not good enough.
And but yeah, they never actually show anything, which I was surprised because the High School DxD kind of went for like the full frontal, like yeah, she's naked, yeah, and then
Hello?
Hi.
It just got really quiet for a
It
moment.
did.
naked shots throughout the rest of the show.
Um,
That was
Faded.
different.
It's like
Hello?
Veda,
I
did
think
you
you
did you
Did
cut
I
out?
cut out? I don't know.
I think you
This
cut
is our
out.
Anyways,
best podcast ever.
basically
Oh my
no
gosh.
fapping to this show.
Fuck. No. It's not. It's yeah.
It sounds like Veda's swearing about the no fapping.
I know.
Oh damn it!
Excellent.
I'm so mad. Yep.
Continue?
Yeah. Like, sorry. What was I
This show's
saying?
just so shallow.
It really is. The animation wasn't terrible, but at times it was also really lazy.
That was pretty plain.
Yeah. And then like, did you notice I know there was one scene that bothered me. It was just like a CGI loop of a stairwell with like him talking over it. It was like hallway. That made sense. Sure.
Also, how did you feel about like the little hamster bat things that give the exposition?
Fucking hated that thing.
There's a hamster bat?
Yes. It kept
Yeah,
coming
it's just
up
like
and
this
like,
little, cutesy animal thing that will like pop in at certain points in the episodes and be like, that fight lasted 54 seconds, wee! But he has like this really weird voice.
Sounds like an old man.
Is he somebody's pet, or does he just legitimately just show up to narrate?
Vampire
He's
chick
like
has
half the vampire chick's pet, but not really.
Yeah, I don't really. They don't really explain it. He just kind of is like the narrator, but not the narrator.
Well, no, the main character is the narrator.
Is he like...
The bat just appears for a couple lines every episode.
Is it like Miyoga and Inuyasha? I don't know why I'm having Inuyasha
No.
flashbacks
No,
now.
he's not. He's
So
not
It's
as
not.
much of a
He's
character.
not in the story. He just shows up to break the fourth wall.
That's
I'm like
weird.
on Funimation right now because I was gonna go see how old Rosario Vampire is, and
It's
like it
17.
has reviews, and the one is just quotations. They weren't kidding when the review said 2,000 panty shots.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
true. Oh, I figured out the voice actor for the
Stop
main character is Todd Habercorn.
Who's that?
Has everybody seen Oren High School Host Club?
Yes.
He was one of the twins. I can't remember which
Oh,
one.
him. Oh.
It's not
Hikaru?
Great Aries, though. Maybe it's Hikaru. Yeah.
Hikaru was my favorite.
Yes, then I think it's yes.
Sorry.
Yes, it's Hikaru.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah,
I
most
liked that
character
anime.
development.
That was a good, like, reverse harem. That was
It's
good.
a shame we can't watch that one for this podcast.
I know, but we've all seen it.
yeah.
I haven't
It's so
seen it.
good.
Liam, you haven't seen that?
Or on High School Host Club?
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm not sure if it's Liam's taste.
probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. I feel that's
Really?
That's
Yeah,
pretty,
no.
like...
I
That's a pretty
love high school
female-oriented
anime.
But it's really,
Really
good.
pink high school anime. It's
There's-
fun.
Good character development.
Anyway,
Not
great.
even kidding.
I know, I wish
Are
there
there
was longer.
swords in it?
No,
I'm sure there's at least a episode with swords.
but they don't fight with swords.
No, they
Wait,
fight
no.
with love.
There might be that one guy who wants to be a samurai or something. I can't
The little one? The
No, the
chibi-
little one is a ninja.
Right.
That's funny. Yeah.
See, the whole time I was watching Trinity Blood at first, I was like, Liam would probably enjoy this. And then it got worse. And I
Aw.
stopped thinking that. But at first I was like, Liam would probably enjoy this. There's lots of explosions and fancy ships
Well,
and stuff.
I thought I was going to
You're
enjoy
making
it,
me.
too.
You're making me seem like you put me down, man.
Well,
Oh, Becca.
just trying to be considerate of your taste.
Can anyone hear me, or did I go away again?
You're still here.
I am still here? Okay, I just didn't know. Because I was like, I just didn't know. Thank you.
Oh, Becca, I like the good animes like the Evangelion and the Bebop Cowboys.
Yeah, no, those are good animes. I no, just specifically like at the first little bit, I was like, Liam would probably appreciate this more than I do, because it just seemed like something that you would be more into.
I do lean towards the fictional things.
Yeah, well, and like the airships and stuff are really cool. There's just, when you're like, this is kind of a boy thing, and that doesn't mean that you can't watch it because you're a girl.
I don't
but-
know, when I started with Trinity Blood, I was like, oh, this looks like something I'd be totally into.
Oh yeah, no.
And then it went down.
Yeah, I don't want to say that, like, obviously anybody can watch anything, but as I was watching it, a thought came to my mind that was Liam would probably enjoy this, and then I stopped thinking that because it got bad, but that was one of my first thoughts.
I understand.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
It's
Now I'm
okay,
just
Becca.
talking around myself and the cat's distracting me.
It's okay.
So-
Now that I've heard you guys discuss your anime, I feel like Becca would have been much happier watching Rosario Vampire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
should've
you
swapped.
two should have switched.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about when she there's all these jokes about her not being able to resist while she's around the main character, and she has to just have a little bit of his blood.
I
But
hate
But she
that
doesn't
so
really
much.
bite his neck. She just kind of gives him a hickey. And there's this just the screen goes black, and then there's this animated shot of lips, and then this moaning sound.
That's
Like, what?
creepy.
Pupa.
But
It's
interesting.
super weird.
Pupa.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh.
No, yeah. Those were really weird.
I said I would...
Again, you're welcome.
Leah's not allowed to pick animes ever again. Or at
And the
least-
other weird thing is, when she unlocks her S-class
Final
super
form.
monster mode, she kicks people. And that's, she kicks
yeah.
them once, and she wins, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's her vampire power.
It's not
Does-
really action. It's more like, oh no, she's evil now, and then the bad guys just sort of crumple, and
I
it's
feel-
like, the fight's over.
I feel like I have to ask, is she kicking them in a specific spot or just in general kicking?
Mm,
It's just one
was
big
weird,
kick.
yeah.
with
I
a
was
panty
totally
shot.
thinking about a swift kick to the balls. But
Yeah, that's what
No.
that's what I was picturing.
Always a panty
Yeah.
shot.
It's
Hmm.
more
One of
in
them might be to the-
general.
Hmm.
I didn't notice if it was to the balls or not.
One of them
Sorry.
might.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It sounds like neither of these animes are great at fulfilling vampire lust.
Not really.
No, it's true.
They're all
I'm
just
We all know what
they were
Becca
both-
wants.
I
Because, I
just
mean,
really
yeah.
like vampires, okay?
I know, and the problem was because I would have picked something like Hellsing or whatever, but again, you'd already seen it. And then I've already seen some of the other ones. Like, when I looked it up, like, these two seemed like promising ones to pick, but...
Yeah, no, it's all
It's
good.
okay.
You
I know
can't-
Rosario
Well,
Vampire
satisfying.
has like a good rating on
Mhm.
places that I looked, so like people seem to like it, and I mean, whatever.
Also,
It
let's
probably
talk
falls-
about let's talk about the
Yeah.
third episode with the little like 12-year-old girl lesbian stuff.
They lowly.
Lolitas?
Yeah, well, no,
It's
like
that really long shot where the vampire just walking down the hall and the little witch
my
girl
God.
is just groping her boobs
like
constantly.
and all the guys are like, oh, they're defiling her boobs. Ah, they're freaking out. Oh my god, it's just the whole third episode was just focused on this little witch child who skipped a bunch of grades, and she's a total perv for the main pink-haired chick.
Well,
at the
it starts
beginning.
off where she asks like the vampire girl to be her girlfriend, but then
Yeah.
by the end she's just part of the harem.
Pretty much.
She's like, this
So,
is
like-
as close as I'm gonna get.
So is the harem
Huh.
for the main girl, I'm guessing Rosario?
Oh,
Or is the
No,
harem
harem's
that's not
for
her
the
name.
plain boring guy with no
The
powers.
So then
stupid
why does
protag.
she ask the girl to be her girlfriend?
They never, because she's.
Because she's got huge boobs.
They never really explain it. They're just like, yeah, she likes women, and then at the end of the episode, she likes the main character because she
Who's
couldn't
not
go on a date with the pink hair chick.
Hmm.
I don't know. What were we gonna say?
She's a whatever's convenient type.
Oh, fair enough.
Maybe, yeah. It was really weird.
It sounds
Yeah, like, I feel like it's... I mean, we've ran into this before on the podcast, is, like, that subjective view of what you like in anime.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, like, for Rosario Vampire, it's probably got, like, a huge following for people who love harem and, like, goofiness and tropes, right?
Oh, I think
But then
if
for
you're
people
like,
us, or for me anyway, where that's not really my thing, I'd be like,
If you like watching cancer,
Leo.
what?
I thought it was.
Was that offensive? Shit.
Oh god.
Oh man, this one was, enjoyable, but maybe that's because the last two animes I had to watch were really bad.
Oh, I was really bored through the whole thing actually.
Yeah,
Like-
I was pretty much doing other things the entire time. Well, not
Yeah,
the-
same.
Was it like one of those like I've seen this once, I've seen it a million times kind of
Well,
deal?
It
Like
was
you
like
said with
super
yours, they're
tropey
just-
harem.
tropes all over.
Yeah.
The place.
It was really boring. So
Tropes.
I
it was
find
just-
I don't mind tropes, but it has to be done well-ish.
Oh yeah, well I mean like if you don't have too much and it's not overdone, then it's fine.
Yeah, and if you can like offset it with the rest of the storyline,
Mhm.
then I think you're okay.
But yeah, and like even like the storyline was just sort of, oh, new kid at school, every anime ever kid goes
Yeah,
to
as soon as it
school.
started off.
In school, every anime ever.
Transfer.
I know, I'm gonna like try and not pick school animes anymore because I feel like it's such a niche. Like,
Yeah,
It's hard to
jeez.
get out of.
There's got to be more out there.
Oh yeah.
mhm.
Well, that was what I liked about Kill la Kill, because Kill la Kill starts off and it's like, oh, Ryoko's a transfer student, but she transferred to this like school that's just fucking ridiculous and over the top. And anyway,
Kill the kill plug there.
we've talked about a lot of animes this episode that aren't the animes we're supposed to talk about.
I feel like if
Do you guys have any? Oh, sorry, Becca.
well, I was gonna say I feel like we've given the listeners lots to think about though.
Yes.
If you haven't watched the other ones, go check them out.
For your health.
Do you guys have any final thoughts on Rosario Vampire?
I will not continue watching it. Maybe one day if I'm like really drunk, hanging out with people, I'll be like, hey, let's watch episode 13 and just see what happens.
just for shits and giggles.
And then it ends up like school days, and people end up like dead and
Oh
pregnant
man.
and related.
Everybody gets knocked out by their cousin.
Oh god.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, I guess. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We
Oh.
are
Well, ever since Andrews pointed out that School Days is apparently what did he say? It was like
Deconstruction.
a deconstruction of the genre. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am if I didn't
Oh,
notice
wait.
that.
no.
What
I
is-
saw
Half
no
the time I'm like
deconstruction.
that, and then half
Well,
the
Andrew
time
says
I'm
as
like,
it
no,
goes
they just
on.
came up with that to make an excuse for their bad anime.
I didn't hear this.
This was for Veda and for the listener. We occasionally get together in person as well, and
Yeah.
Leah had brought her boyfriend, who mentioned that School Days is a deconstruction of the anime tropes, which
Yeah,
I'd like to call
construction of harem animes.
Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit because I don't see that either. But
How is it a
we did
deconstruction?
only watch 3 episodes,
We did
so
only
maybe
watch
it gets
3
better.
He did say, like, as it goes on, it kind of gets
Yeah.
into it more, but then at the same time, it's hard to say, because it could have just actually sucked, and they could have been like, let's think of a reason, like, to, like, save our asses.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
I think-
Who knows?
Much like when you're writing a paper for, say, school, don't spend all your time dicking around and just filling up the space. Get to your fucking argument and make it happen. If we have to sit around and wait for episodes for your storyline to actually start, your storyline sucks.
Well, in that case, I'll stick with my
School.
original statement about School Days.
Me
Yeah.
too.
That it's worse than cancer, Ebola, and AIDS.
And I'll stick with,
Okay.
those are all pretty horrible diseases, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's that bad.
Veda, what's your
Listen to
final
episode
thoughts on
4.
Rosario Vampire?
If you want to learn more about School Days.
for Rosario plus Vampire. I am not going to keep watching it. It's really not my thing. Maybe if you're a fan of supernatural panty shots, go for it.
That sounds
But
like something
it's not
somebody
for
could be
me.
interested in.
Supernatural
It
panty shots.
probably is.
You're making it sound more appealing than it is there, Veda.
Sorry. I'm sorry if I misled you.
I
Well, hey,
like
it sounds more
supernatural
entertaining
things.
than your guys' anime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Even the
interesting
winners.
week. Neither anime was particularly great.
It's been an interesting
So-
episode.
Yeah.
And colorful.
Yeah.
Less F-bombs than usual, though, I think.
I don't
How about
that.
I'd like to think we kept it under wraps this time.
Alright.
Wait till
Next time
you
I'll
edit
try
it.
and next time I'll try and be less offensive with my statements.
Well, speaking of next time, listeners, Liam picked the red marble next week, but we're going to hold off on a good and a bad anime for now, because next week we are going to have a special episode, the Supreme Overlord episode,
Oh.
in which we shall discuss in
No, don't tell them.
Can we call it?
something different.
Secrets.
Can we call it the
a
Supreme
surprise.
Overlord Senpai episode?
Yes,
Excellent.
most
We'll,
definitely.
we'll have the
Senpai.
final verdict of the name next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week. Tune
Let's-
in next week.
So tune in next week, and at the end of next week's podcast, Liam will reveal the bad and the good anime that we'll watch 2 weeks from now.
This just gives Liam one more week to find the worst shit possible.
Oh god.
And exact his
I
revenge.
don't want to I think we've done enough of the find the absolute worst anime.
I agree.
Now's the challenge is finding stuff that
Is just
I don't know is
Something
there's
worth
more to
discussing?
talk about other than just oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself.
maybe controversial,
Well, and,
but not
and
necessarily
especially-
bad.
Since we all seem to have a little bit of a similar taste, where just finding the most obnoxious anime you can find is only going to be so entertaining. Or by entertaining, I mean
You can only
you
say
can only,
so much.
you can only say so much about them. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, if anyone's still listening, thanks, and we will see you next time.
Love
I'm-
you.
I'm
Well,
assuming
you'll
there's
hear us
only
next time.
I'm assuming there's only more listeners now than there were before.
I hope so.
Listeners, I'm winking and gunning at ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.